Hello, this is The Way of Fairness. My name is Stephen Childs. Aleister Crowley is famous for a quote from his religion he founded called Thelema. It's the Greek word for will. And the quote is, "Do what thou wilt is the whole of the law." So in common language, do whatever you want is another way of saying it. And he describes that as being a law that has, law means, what does law mean? It's an order. There's law and order. So like in the mythology of Egypt, there's Set and Osiris and Horus. And long story short, Osiris is the lord of the dead because he got killed by the wicked Set. And or you could describe Set as being unfair. Probably a better way to describe all this is using the terms fair and unfair for all of it. We categorize all of reality with those. We measure everything, whether it's fair to everyone or unfair to everyone or anyone. So we don't want anything unfair to anyone. We want to protect everyone from unfairness. So Horus is Osiris's son, and he's kind of like a savior figure. So they said that what was just a myth in Egypt is now true with Jesus. So they're claiming Jesus is Horus. So you can see the foundation for God versus Satan in that Egyptian mythology. Aleister Crowley was not anything close to being Christian. So there was the Book of the Law by Aleister Crowley and the religion Thelema. And there were two individuals, well, there's actually three, that created a major change in our culture back in the probably 50s, 60s, 70s, and on. Okay, so there's Jack Parsons from Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the predecessor of NASA. And there's a lot of controversy, like conspiracy theories about NASA. I'm going to stay focused as far as possible, but still get enough of the spread of this so that you understand how this affects everything. It's like once you pull the cork out of the bottle, the genie's just everywhere at once. So we're going to stay focused for a minute on Aleister Crowley's influence on Jack Parson, L. Ron Hubbard, and Anton LaVey that wrote the Satanic Bible. So two major religious movements came from Aleister Crowley, Thelema. Dianetics, Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. modern Satanism, Anton LaVey. And I'll speak briefly about modern Satanism. It's generally accepted that they are atheist, like the Temple of Satan is a political spiritual movement. And they're doing great things for democracy and freedom of religion. So they're atheists and they don't think there's a Satan or a God. They're atheists. See, if you don't have God, you don't have Satan in a traditional sense. Because it's the good versus evil mythology. So when you get rid of the opposition, the two opposites, then you're in the realm of non-duality, which is also a spiritual movement. And if you haven't learned anything about these terms, I highly suggest that you look up this stuff. And just let your conscience, let your intuition guide you in your search. Because you don't have time to look into it in much detail. You're wasting time if you do. There's a guide within that'll tell you, move to something else. And it'll direct you to where to look. And so you don't have to learn every word in the encyclopedia, Wikipedia. Keep your focus on finding what you're looking for. What are you looking for? Victory, right? You want to win at life. Me too. That's what the Church of Fairness, the Way of Fairness, and Team Fairness is about. So I have 3 different ways to describe the same thing. And is it necessary that we have a division between the secular and the religion? I think it is necessary for now because we're arguing about supernatural. Is it a thing or is it not a thing? Well, super means extreme natural. So, see, this is semantics. So, the map is not the territory. Is all we ever see is the map as humans. We don't see the actual reality. Many of us believe it's really there. And what it really is, it gets really interesting. So I'm at the place where I think it's zero, but it's really there. Imagine that. A real zero opposed to a non-real zero. See how deep that is? Is there a difference? I don't know. We're never going to know what nothing is because it's not there to know. That's where our secrets are. They're not there to know. So we don't need evil powers to protect our secrecy. We need zero power to protect our secrecy. Nothing is all powerful. No one knows everything. You never find no one because no one's not there to find. Okay, so back in the day, I'm not going to look into dates or give you references at all because I don't have the energy. I'm barely able to function. There's a video I watched that tells about L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parson spending some time away from town in an effort to summon this being from Babylon. So Babylon versus the Bible is a big conflict. So back in the day, there was various god groups fighting each other. So they summoned this being, I forget his name, and this like opened a door to the spirit world that had previously been closed. I've done that stuff on my own intuitively, opening the door to what they perceive as evil, because it's time that we have unity with the two sides. And it's really quite simple to create the unity, because we measure everything if it's fair to everyone. So if the beings from Babylon, these extraterrestrials, that's what actually shows up, I think. An extraterrestrial. That they can say that they're a god if they want. They're godlike in their ability. So L. Ron Hubbard was able to get support from that extraterrestrial that's anti-Christian, because Christianity became an abomination, because it's not about truth and fairness. It was taken over by the ambition of greedy humans. All of us have greed in us and ambition to rule all. Everyone wants to rule the world, kind of thing. Or at least not be dominated by it. We want victory over that which has taken our freedom away. It's depriving us of true justice or fairness for ourselves. We don't want to be done wrong. We want the right to not be done wrong. So we form groups to get what we want. So this is about making choices, the use of our will, to get what we want. And what's the consequence of indulgence? Like, this is what Anton LaVey's talking about. Choose to be indulgent and then learn from the experience. You might want to try that. It might kill you. And maybe you learn a lesson and you start looking for a different way of achieving victory over those who are doing us wrong. Because if you really look at it rationally, we don't have success when we try to dominate someone else in an unfair fashion, because they will group together against us and they might hurt us really bad because we did them wrong. So I don't like do what thou wilt. I like do what is fair to everyone for victory. Do what is fair to everyone is the whole of the law. The law of fairness is paramount. It's fundamental to every other law. So all of the laws that governments create and that religions create must surrender, like I have, to being fair to everyone, so that I have a greedy victory. It's mine. It's my victory. Don't try to take my victory. I will get angry. And anger empowers me to stop you from doing me wrong, from taking what's mine. Now, realistically, there are beings that can take from humans freely. It's like stealing candy from a baby. They can just walk by and take the binky out of your mouth and leave you there crying. So we protect the infant, the child, from people doing him wrong, him or her. So this is about protecting each other. As an adult, I have knowledge that people freely take energy from me. They're called energy vampires, is one way that this has been described. You can feel sensations. As I was telling you about my greed and taking what's mine, I felt something taken from me. Somebody decided what I have is theirs, I guess. And so if in an extreme way you feel this jealousy and you feel anger. So let's go back to do what is fair to everyone. So if I've taken something from someone else that's theirs, I'm very sorry. Please forgive me. I care about you. Thanks for forgiving me, if you will. And I'm certainly giving back to you what belongs to you. Now, what if what belongs to them is a big chunk of bad karma that they've somehow pawned off onto me by some magical power of transference? So I'm getting the headache that they actually got, or I'm getting the toothache that they actually have. It's possible. If all you need is some power to enable you to do that. I made a video that nobody's watched, and I started to watch it myself this morning. It's The Devil's Jesus, Part 2. I'm told by my spirit friends telepathically, nobody dares watch it. There's such a strong fear about that nobody dares watch that. Okay, so what's my focus here? My focus is on this extraterrestrial being from Babylon that was summoned here by Jack Parsons of JPL, and it happens to be his same initials. Jack Parsons Laboratory or Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I can't remember exactly, but there's the same initials. I'm sorry that my mind is not in tip-top shape, but it's still working. So I'm still using what I have in here to serve others in an altruistic way. That's part of how we get victory for ourself, for our greedy ego, for that which keeps me alive. That's greedy. In an extreme altruism, the desire to stay here alive is greed. You know, it's not altruism. So you got to have both. You have to have altruism and also a personal desire for victory over that which is causing you to lose. Do you want to do it in a fair way? Try it in an unfair way and see what happens. Don't do it, because it will hurt you. I will help it hurt you. If you're being unfair to me, I will help that being from Babylon punish you for doing me wrong. So there's my anger. I am in no way Christian. Absolutely not. I had a dream. This is the devil's Jesus dream. This being appears in my room, in my dream, and tells me that he's the Lord and he looks like Jesus and I have to surrender to him. And I say, no, I'm practicing Buddhism. It disappears. A being that looks like the Christian Satan appears and puts pain in my arm. Extreme pain. And so I woke up angry at both of them. Get out of my house. So now I'm using a sword I was given in a dream. My higher power told me, use your sword. So I'm chopping them up, They're just spirit beings. They don't have bodies. It's imagination. And I'm imagining chopping them up, and I hear in my dream, when I was doing this in my dream, they're screaming for mercy. Please stop, Steve, you're hurting us. Whoa. Well, who are they? They're a group of people that are claiming to be Christians that are wanting me to surrender to their Christianity. No, I would rather chop that dream image up and have it harm you. What are you doing? You're violating me. And we have more power than your religion does. We're the Church of Fairness. And we're with Team Fairness. This is the most powerful alliance in the universe. If you look at Christianity and the scriptures of the Old Testament and the New Testament, it's easy to see how unfair it is. It's life-denying. It does not allow for human individuality or creativity. It wants everybody to be a cookie-cutter zombie surrendered to the Lord. And the people that are the Lord are just people, everyday life people, that are gang-like. It's like Fight Club. And so these Fight Club people end up blowing up buildings at the end because they'll do anything that guy wants. And who's that guy? He's a collective being. He's not anyone in particular. He's a conglomerate of all those Christians that claim to be I am. Well, we are is greater than I am. So the Old Testament about this I am stuff has not got the power that we do, because we are. It's not about I, it's about we. It's about me giving what I have to the extraterrestrials. And if you really trust someone, you can give all that you are. You'll feel whether you want to do that or not in your own heart. And they're the same way. They will decide if they want to give me all they are or not. So it's what happens if you're fair-minded, is they give me all they are, and I'm giving them all I am right back. So we surrender to each other mutually. All the people that are agreeing to be fair to everyone, they're in compliance with the World Fairness Agreement. So I give all I am to them, only them. People that aren't in agreement with it, they're having dreams of eternal hell. I had one. It is freaking scary to get to the place where you can see it. And when you see it, what I saw was just ordinary people in conversation. Us in the future. On the wrong track. As humans, we have nightmares about things. I remember a nightmare that there was a monster in the church, in the Mormon church, under the stairs. And it was really scary dream. It's like I have no way of confronting that much fear. It's just too scary. Okay, so these friendly, godlike extraterrestrials, they are creating a certain amount of fear, and sometimes it's an extreme amount of fear that you're incapable of going through it. What creates that fear? Our own mind does. What's causing it? Them, the friendly extraterrestrials. This is speculation. So they're creating eternal hell as we speak with us, mutually creating it as a nightmare to get us back on the right track. And when you have that nightmare, you're like, I want help with this, please. Please help me, somebody. They're there to help. So I believe with what all the wisdom that they can muster, like that's what we're using too, that's what we're coming up with as a way to get humans to stop destroying each other with warfare and with greed and with policies that create homeless people that are starving to death. So, we're working with Elon Musk. I had a dream that he came into my being in a dream, spirit, like a spirit dream, and he made it. And then last week they told me that he raped me. I don't have that memory in the dream. So he's got lots of money, and that's what the Church of Fairness needs, is lots of money. Because it's like they say bullshit walks and money talks or something, to indicate how you can't get anything done without money to get it done with in our present day. So I'm like waiting for this huge donation from Elon Musk to create the World Fairness Agreement, and then he's forgiven for his racism and his greed and the harm he's done to people. And he's totally forgiven and honored for helping us bring the World Fairness Agreement about. So I've been talking about some strange things, like a being from Babylon, an extraterrestrial. Where is it? It's not anywhere to be seen. It's in our mind. It's a mind experience, or other people will call it a spiritual experience. I mean, some people might call it a demonic experience. They don't want to be called demons. They're friendly extraterrestrials, but they have a powerful lesson for humanity. So they're telling me that Jesus is on the side of evil now because it's the only way you can get people to leave Christianity, by playing the role of evil. He's like begging people, please leave Christianity. It's evil. I only have telepathic knowledge of this. And take all of this with a grain of salt. It's a story to get us to what's actually really going to happen. And that's tomorrow. Tomorrow is what really always happens. Or it's like right now, it's what's really happening as we speak. What we can really sense, what's really real to us. And we know the map is not the territory. We're not seeing the real reality. We're seeing our mind's creation to represent the real reality. But we think the real reality is really there, and it's all one thing, and it's zero. So how can zero be all of this? Well, God created us from nothing, so we're already nothing. Without God, we're absolutely nothing at all. So this is absolutely nothing already, even if you believe in that theistic example of it, or description of it. So what would be real? Only God would be real. Only zero is real. That's absurd. That's incredible. That blows your mind. Get this. Zero doesn't need a creator because it's not created. In this whatever it is that we experience, reality, there's true and there's false. And there'll be people argue that false is true. No, I don't agree with that. True is true and false is false. Is there a time when false can be true? Well, zero being something is a lie, so that's the false that can be true. Maybe the entire creation is a lie. It's not really anything, it's actually zero. So is it a good lie or a bad lie? You know what I mean? It's like it's an illusion. It's Maya. In Eastern mysticism, it's called Maya, illusion. So all of my material, the context of all of it always is the World Fairness Agreement. It's that I want fairness to defeat unfairness. That's what all my stuff is about. I ask, is there a Jesus? And I was given the experience of an extraterrestrial mind that's real and it's loving, cares about us. I was given a dream that there's a group of aliens they got lost, they got trapped. Maybe they got lost in a simulation and they became non-physical, they lost their bodies, their mind only, spirit only, and they're trapped in that simulation or something. I'm speculating from the dream. So the real truth is different than that. Anyway, my higher power, they're also extraterrestrials that are more advanced than the ones that got trapped. They care about both of us. But they had to declare war through me on them. And they are going to surrender to my terms. My terms are help us create the World Fairness Agreement. And then the secrets of their past are kept. They're not anywhere to be found. We try to find those beings. They're not there. They are not anywhere. The secrets are not anywhere to be found. So those beings that became non-physical and simulation only, they're not actually real anymore. It's like they actually died and they're in some kind of afterlife created experience. The foundation of them is absolutely real, and it's in the past. It would be in the past progression of their planet where they evolved and this happened to them. Here again, I'm speculating from the dreams I've been given from beings that are absolutely real. And our government knows these beings are absolutely real. There's a document called the Gateway, and there's research done by Russia and USA into the validity of spiritual beings or extraterrestrials or whatever you want to call them, other dimensional, and they're real. That's what I'm working with too. That's what people have been praying to since there was humans on the planet. So back in the day, we would see lightning and we would say there's a God that causes that. It's a God. And then we learned, no, it's static electricity. And then I have a spiritual being, a mental experience from some actually real entity telling me in advance when a lightning flash will happen. So I'm given lightning power knowledge. So there's not a God of lightning, but there's beings that can control or they know about the future. So back in the day, we're worshiping Zeus, the god that has lightning power. The Greeks were worshiping that god. And behind the curtain of that, behind the veil, behind what's covering the actual truth from humans seeing it, the knowledge of what it's really about, that's the best way to describe it. The knowledge of what it's really about is these extraterrestrials that we're worshiping this imaginary, to them it's imaginary God, and humans think it's real, and they say hello, kaboom. So we thought they were gods, and they let us think that until we got ready to understand some more science. And now we know about quantum mechanics, non-locality, we know about relativity, we know about the strangeness of the actual reality that we're in. So what we were worshiping as gods was actually atheist extraterrestrials. And people are having a very difficult time accepting this as being a possibility, let alone being actual truth. They're told that what I'm saying is of the devil. Hence, we're back at the Babylon entity that Jack Parsons, the party-going member of Thelema, the religion of Aleister Crowley, that was the founder of, one of the founders of NASA. And they were partiers. They were partying like Aleister Crowley. He died in an explosion. It's mysterious why he died. Maybe the extraterrestrials wanted to get him out of here. I don't know. And as you know, L. Ron Hubbard created a controversial religion, Scientology, and they have this horribly unfair side of them. If you criticize them, they put the hurt on you. They'll dig up all the dirt that you're trying to hide, all your secrets, and try to get control of you. That's so common. The Mormon Church has this temple oath. You cannot tell the secrets of the temple, or we will cut your guts out. Really, that's what it said originally in its own language. Look it up. They changed it. So there's no talk of disemboweling someone. And if you look at Baphomet, the deity of Satanism, it's a being that's had that done. He's been killed by these unfair Christians. And they've done that to black people. There's like, are they actually crucifying black people to create fear in that tribe? Well, are they? Did they? Yesterday, I was using this thought that I like Mexicans more than Americans. I got grace, unbelievably powerful grace. It's so strong, it almost makes you cry. It's so powerful. It's like there's such a relief of abuse. Like imagine you're a child that's getting beat every day, and somebody comes along and rescues you from being beat. And you cry from gratitude. It's like that. I got the same powerful grace from a black man walking down the sidewalk. By thinking, I like Africans more than Asians. I meant to say more than Europeans. I'm still having trouble with that because I'm drawn to temple. Isn't that strange? I can't even speak correctly like Donald Trump. Europeans, like me, Caucasians, have done some horrible things to other tribes. And I'm one. I'm guilty of being a Caucasian. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. We're going to protect you from people doing you wrong. So the power of racism, the power of white nationalism, is causing me to not be able to speak. I can feel its attack on me right now, and I'm getting angry at it. I'm going to chop it to shreds. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of fairness or the side of unfairness? Have a great day. I love you.